Parkitect is an amazing roller coaster tycoon-like simulator and a very customizable game that you could enjoy for hours on end. Today I want to make a tips and tricks guide for 2023, things that I find useful in order to beat the levels, gain the parks, and also have fun in sandbox mode. The first tip I'm giving is do not expand until necessary. Keep your park tight-knit. The smaller you can keep your park's footprint, the less employees you need, the less garbage pails you need to be cleaned, the less toilets you need. Now obviously the bigger your park gets in terms of attracting guests, you are going to need to expand, obviously, and the more rides you acquire, you'll need to expand. And plan your expansion accordingly. Plan out the loops you want to build, corridors, get kind of your design for the park. I like having big looping pathways so people can make their way around the park. But there's many other ways you could do it. Tip number 2 is, in order to make the money in this game, you are going to require rides and shops in big enough number to pay off your deficit and debts. So I recommend right away that you want one of each ride available in the comfy department and the thrill ride department. I would not build every single roller coaster unless you have the money for it, but definitely you're going to want to keep grinding out rides to build, and this goes into my next tip about research. Definitely you want to put as much money into research as possible. I usually keep it around the default $100 per month, and raising it to about $200 when I have extra money. I find this does get you rides and attractions researched quickly, but some of these objectives you have to beat before the second year. You will need to increase the research rate. I would alternate researches between thrill rides, comfy rides, and shops in the beginning, and then maybe 1 or 2 coasters. And this goes right into tip number 4 about coasters, kind of, is do not build custom rides your first time around or early in your game. Use the pre-built rides, use the pre-built concepts. This will give you ideas on how you can customize and make your rides more your own. But I would just go with the pre-built easy rides. Pick roller coasters with high intensity. Medium to high intensity seems to be the best. And save the custom designs for endgame and after you're in sandbox mode. Or if you don't need the money right away. A custom ride can shoot you in the foot because a ride that you see as not that insane, not that intense, the game will calculate as an insane ride. I built one roller coaster with just very tall, one big drop, and one loop, and then it wraps around to the beginning. And it was too intense, too many G's. Definitely save this for the end or when you don't need the money. Tip number 5 is always add benches and garbage pails on your paths everywhere. You definitely want a lot of benches, a lot more than you think are necessary, because one of the biggest complaints of your park's guests is nowhere to sit and they're getting tired. Definitely you want to add benches and garbage bins before any decorations, any trees or customization, or props to your park. Benches and garbage bins are much better. Tip number 6 is adjust your prices accordingly. With food, with drink, with rides. This game you are always going to be tweaking and manipulating the prices. You see a ride is doing slower, you want to lower the price to attract more people. You see that people are raving about your soft drinks are a great deal, that is your cue to raise the price. Keep the prices high on things that are being bought. If you have a very popular roller coaster and the tickets are $8 and the line is around the park, metaphorically speaking, raise the price in 20-cent to 40-cent increments until it's a little more realistic, in my opinion, till you're making the most money bang for your buck. Tip number 7 is more of an aesthetic thing, but use your park's terrain for building. Does your park have a giant oasis in the middle of a desert? Utilize that in your park design. Does your park have crazy rock formations or trees? Maybe build a path through this area to give people something to look at. You don't want to go into a mountainous park and level the whole thing and terraform it into a flat parking lot. You'd rather go to the flat parking lot level and build a flat parking lot roller coaster theme park. Tip number 8 is hire the right staff. In the very beginning, you want to hire 2 janitors, 1 security guard, 2 haulers, 1 entertainer, and 1 mechanic. As your park grows and you get about 5 to 6 rides, hire that second mechanic. And around that time, hire your second or third security guard. You don't want to over-hire people and have extra people not working and you paying for their salary. Hire right and also make sure you are putting them in the right areas. And another thing is, it's good to keep your workers off the normal paths. Build little subsections with the depot and the employee-only pathing. Build that behind your shops. You could build like a aisle that goes behind your shops where your employees can restock the shops, not be in the way of park guests, and are not even seen. You can also use underground mapping, underground tunnels, to make vast networks of Disneyland-style corridors and ways for your employees to get around the park. This is key to keeping people happy. You don't want too many employees carrying supplies through the park. Tip number 9 is loans and repayment. You're going to get to a certain part of the game where you're going to have to take out a loan to keep growing your park. This seems to be the meta. Maybe it's just my playstyle. But in order to keep growing and eventually getting into the green and making profit, you need a lot of rides, a lot of shops. And the way to do this would be to take out a loan. And then as you're repaying the loan, and you're getting to this threshold of like, you're in the negative 100 range, negative $200 per month, you're almost there to the green, you'll start paying back the loan whenever you can to lower your payments, and also raising your rates around the park to kind of get into the green. But the loans you will be using to beat the missions, beat the levels, and to grow your park early on. Just don't forget to repay them. And then tip number 10 is do not sleep on the optional goals. These are optional objectives that when you beat them, it will award you bonus money for the round, bonus research. One time I did an objective that was optional and I learned how to build a steel roller coaster. That steel roller coaster I built for $10,000 in the park. Tickets for that thing ran about $10 per ticket and it was sold out. It was a great roller coaster. I'm sure there's other categories, but the whole idea was I did an optional goal, got a bonus research technology, and it really helped me out. Same thing with the bonus cash. Also, sometimes bonuses will expand your land. You won't have to buy land. It took me forever how to figure out how to buy land on certain maps. That's in the terraforming option. There's a little, you can buy land under terraforming. Weird place to put it. But sometimes optional goals will award you land to help you expand your park. And that's pretty much it. This game is a very good roller coaster tycoon-like simulation game. If you like roller coaster builder games, you definitely want to check out Parkitect. I enjoyed Parkitect more than Planet Coaster, to be honest. And it's definitely very true to the original roller coaster tycoon series. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this a game that you played? You want to try it? What are your tips for the park? Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more awesome video game content, and hit that bell icon to be alerted when we go live and videos are uploaded. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a great rest of your day.